like everyone. Amongst the sorrows, drift among the days. And everything I ever said and everything I've ever done is gone and dead. 'Cause all things will surely have to end. Great loves one day have to part. I know that I am meant for this world. Howdy. Howdy do. Howdy. Howdy you, everybody. Hashtag Wrestlepals, your weekly-ish dose of ... stupid. State of the show. Probably a little bit of that today. I don't know. We'll talk about stuff. We won't be on long today because I got a lot of editing to do, and not a ton to talk about in the wrestling world. See who's checking in. Ellie, Hard Work Justin, over here being great, trying to. Thank you, Ellie. Thank you for popping in. Hard work does indeed work, in case you didn't know. I don't think I can do the sell and play at the same time. What if I just throw a little something underneath me? I'll do that same song. Absolutely no commitment. Zero commitment involved with Hard Work Works Fitness. Just go download the app from your app store. Super easy. $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Again, super duper easy. I have to admit that the workouts are pretty freaking cool. Haven't done them as much as I should. But the ones that I have done, Joe shows you exactly how to do them. And then you log them in as you do them. Best $10 a month that I'm spending currently. No doubt about it. Joe will also help you with your diet. You know, whatever you need to put in that body to fuel it, baby. Yes, I'm just switching between G and C. Hard enough to try to think of the read and switch chords while I'm talking. But hashtag join the hustle, baby. $9.99. Well, I'm sorry, $10 a month. $9.99 is the network. $10 a month, no commitment. And you know what? You decide Hard Work Works fitness app ain't for you. You get to keep all them workouts, Jack. So you can cancel anytime. And that's right, baby. Get yourself in tip-top physical. Hashtag join the hustle. Hard Work Works fitness app. From my man's Joe and them. Hard Work Works Fitness. So what is there to talk about in wrestling this week? We can talk about NXT, right? In all its glory. Looks like the war rages on between Dream and the Undisputed Era, specifically Roddy Strong, getting heated between the two of them. I'm getting excited for Liv's involvement on Monday Night Raw. Now look, I know I'm the Liv mark. I love Liv. Liv loves Justin. It's right there, plain in front of you. But I would tell you if I'm not enjoying what she's doing, 100%. Just as I was with Lana. Like, she was killing it. I hated the Lana thing, but she was killing it. Now they've started to separate her from that. And while I wish all the girls would have gotten some mic time on Monday, they were all present and they all did something. And Asuka is a monster. Wonderful. The what chant has got to stop when foreign people are talking, please, because that's garbage. I could understand what Asuka was saying, and the parts that she was saying in Japanese, that rules. Don't say what, because they'll take the mic away from her. Stop that. Don't do it. I love it when she gets all fired up and starts speaking Japanese. It's great. I also saw like some afterward stuff where she ran down all of the opponents. And one thing I've always said on the show, maximize your screen time. Liv is really good at doing that. She didn't have much time, but she was present. And then when the brawl breaks out, she had something to do that made her stick out, like diving over the table. That was great. So she's in a good place. We're looking at some sort of either a triple threat type deal or maybe the formation of a tag team. Maybe Rue and Sarah reform the Riot Squad, and I don't know. Or, like, as of right now, Sarah is in between. She doesn't know which way she's going to go. So, and they showed that on Monday. Like, she's not sure who her loyalty lies with. I'm intrigued. And again, depth to the women's division is never a bad thing. Raw has finally stepped up. Like, almost their entire division is present on television currently. There's still a long way to go before most of them feel like they are in the same league as Becky, but even Shayna kind of is a little ahead, like she's just advanced. She shows up, but Shayna's a badass, that's just going to be what it is. But the rest of the division is finally rising. Like, that's been the problem with Raw for a really long time. And part of that is I love how Charlotte is tangled with Rhea Ripley, but Charlotte is still on Raw. And we're not losing television time for any of the other women. Dig it. Like, this is great. My brother and I were talking last week. SmackDown, since going to Fox, there's been some really great episodes, and SmackDown is still a really good show, but SmackDown is becoming what Raw was for me. Like, it's becoming more and more spectacle, and Raw is starting to become a wrestling show. And if it wasn't for the 3 hours, I think Raw would probably have surpassed SmackDown by now. SmackDown still has that edge because there's a sense of urgency because it's 2 hours. SmackDown still doesn't ever, even if there's segments I don't particularly enjoy, it never feels like it's dragging out. So I dig that. Trying to think of some, they got me. I was in for Goldberg and The Fiend for Super Showdown. We probably will not review Super Showdown. I may watch it. I will not review it. But Goldberg, the Goldberg Fiend thing at the end of SmackDown got me pretty pumped to see that match. I was never out on it, but I also never was like, oh yeah, that'll be great. I have a feeling it's going to be fun. It's going to be a really fun match. What does it lead to? Because we got to start ramping up for Mania here. What does that lead to? I don't know. We'll see. Trying to think of some of the other things that happened around, because unfortunately, currently where I'm at right now, it's hard enough to fit Raw, SmackDown, and NXT in. Doing a lot of editing and recording for Bell and Dubs Season 2, which is going to be great. If you're not on board with Bell and Dubs, get on board right now. Choo choo. The train is coming through. Oh, duh. So our Hall of Fame so far for Tampa, we have Batista is the headliner, NWO, and now the Bella Twins. And let's talk about this for a second, because a lot of people obviously never liked the Bella Twins, are coming hard saying that the Bella Twins don't deserve it. So first of all, your opinion on this is invalid because the only opinion that matters is Vincent Kennedy McMahon. So, I mean, if we're going to still have this discussion, because we should, but ultimately it's a made-up thing in Vince's mind to sell some tickets and make yet another TV show, ultimately, is what it is. So, what does it matter who goes into his Hall of Fame? Like, I mean, there are a lot of people missing that probably should be in, but that doesn't really matter. And none of the people that are in there don't belong there, because I don't have a right to say that. So, the Bellas, 100% absolutely belong in. I've seen they started the revolution with Paige and AJ. Yeah. Look, say what you want about the Bellas' in-ring ability. I hated the Bellas when they first showed up. I absolutely despised them, and not in the good way, not in the oh boo boo, in a ugh god, they're awful. But they steadily improved and got better on the mic, got better in the ring. They brought new eyes to the product. Any way you want to slice it. So AJ may have been the catalyst, but the Bellas were the ones who brought the eyes. If the Bellas don't bring the eyes, when AJ starts running all them down, the wrestling fans don't flock to AJ. AJ's the catalyst, but the Bellas and Total Divas was absolutely what brought everybody in. So they absolutely, anybody who brings new eyeballs, any way you want to look at it, Goldberg was not great in the ring, but dude, he was a draw. The Bellas were a draw. And that's what matters. I don't know what imaginary world. I've seen a lot of people, they slept their way there. Man, that's garbage. That garbage take needs to go somewhere. Let's let it be. Let's say that it is true. And what? And let's say it's true for even half a second, which it's not. They slept their way there. It's because who they slept with. Nah, man. Nah. That's just stupid. Ellie says Nikki Bella demanded to be trained like a real wrestler and hated when people told her to just put out on a dress and smile. Yeah, they helped usher in change. They may not have been, you're not going to find a ton of 5-star classic Nikki Bella matches, and you probably won't find any great Brie Bella matches, but they were decent. And there was a time where Nikki was actually really good. Right after 2016, right after the brand split, and Nikki was drafted to SmackDown. That feud with Carmella that turned Carmella heel the first time, she was great. And her teaming with John, she was really good in that. And before she got hurt again and went away the last time, she was really good. Like the 6-way where Becky won the SmackDown Women's Championship the first time, really good. Yes, Jenny, somebody's jealous. Lots of people is jealous. I had Road Warrior Animal tell me and my brother they never slept their way to the top. They earned everything. I 100% believe that they earned everything. They worked hard, man. It was evident. Say what you want about who Brie married. She could have just rested on, if that were true, she could have just rested on that. She had Daniel help teach her. She learned she was trying to be a better wrestler. Nikki was trying to have John help her be a better wrestler. And it showed in their in-ring work. It's their True Blue. They absolutely 100% earned it. And bottom line is dollars. They brought in more television dollars. More people were watching Divas, and then more women were coming over to WWE because of that. End of story. End of story. That's all you need to know. That is all we need to talk about. We don't need to talk about 5-star classics. We don't need to talk about moves. We don't need to talk about who they slept with. They had a television show that people watched, and then those people came over to watch Raw and SmackDown. Period. End of story. Absolutely Hall of Famers in just about any business sense that makes sense. So, I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see who else gets into the Hall of Fame. Like I said, we've got the Animal Batista, 100% deserving. The NWO is a weird one. 6 going in 2 years in a row. That's super weird. And the Bellas now. Rumors going around that the British Bulldog, and that may come with some backlash, apparently, that I was unaware of. But when you think about his history, makes a lot of sense. I hope that's not true. I did see that Harry Smith, we talking about my favorite show, Total Wrestling, sort of. We sort of were. Oh, by the way, Matt, how's TJ doing? Is TJ all right? I always like to get my updates on TJ and Natty from Matt, because he watches Total Divas, or as he likes to say, Total Wrestling, and he gives us updates on how TJ's doing, because we don't get to see him very often. So I like to find out from him. We also, since Matt is in the chat, we got to talk about the egg bit for a second, because Jon Moxley, for a fact, knows the egg bit verbatim, and he's the only one who does. Matt and I both forgot it. We have no idea what the egg bit is, but we know it exists, we know that it killed, and we know that Moxley loved it. TJ was cleaning out the kitty litter and broke his neck. Oh, God. Chris desperately wants to make love to an innocent schoolboy again. I'm looking forward to this bit on a weekly basis, Chris. Thank you. I like that Chris needs to pronounce this. I want to do a Dumb and Dumber quote back, but I also want to leave it out there that you desperately want to make love to an innocent schoolboy. They better put the egg bit in the Hall of Fame. I agree. I mean, when you look at bits, especially in the wrestling world, I would say that the egg bit is probably Hall of Fame worthy. It's got the credentials. It brought television. It brought eyes to the television. 100%. It won the championships. Get me on the schoolboy, and you won't ever have to hear it again. Wait, do I have to roll you up like a schoolboy? 1, 2, 3, or do I have to find you a schoolboy? What are you asking for here? But the egg bit, it's got Hall of Fame credentials. It's got a former WWE champion who champions the bit. And let's be frank here. Are there any other bits that are Hall of Fame worthy? Okay, maybe Ziggler's skin the cat bit. I think that's worthy. That was in the Andre Royal Rumble. Or Andre Rumble. Andre Battle Royal. Jeez, I can talk. The Andre Battle Royal a couple years ago where he kept skinning the cat. He skinned the cat like 15 times in one Battle Royal. Kofi's bit's okay, but I feel like Kofi's bit isn't as much of a bit as it's a thing, if that makes sense. I feel like the skin the cat for Dolph was a bit. But none of them touch the egg bit. It's the only Hall of Fame worthy bit in wrestling history. This Is Your Life with Rock and Mankind. So that was, again, less bit, more segment. But if segments are getting put into the Hall of Fame, that's absolutely going in because, again, hint, 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 it's a television show. Still the most highly rated Raw segment in history, I believe. I'm not 100% on that, but I don't know that anything has topped it since. Television eyes, people watching the show, that's what they're going for. So yeah, This Is Your Life with Rock and Mankind has got to be in there. Ziggler's Hooters no sell. Look, was his? I see. That's the thing. If it was a no sell, I feel like Miz more no sold me. Ziggler was rude. I think that's the problem I have with it. Ziggler was rude. Miz no sold me. Well, no, you know what? Maybe you're right, because a no sell does make me angry, whereas being rude does not. Ziggler's no sold me, but I sold the S out of that super kick. I was out for days. I like Velveteen Dream's bit right now, where he's here. Let me switch over to that so you can see. He's got Roddy's wife and kid on his gear. That's a pretty good bit. That's drawing the ire, as it were. You were definitely angry, or passed out, whatever it was. Ziggler was nice to me both times. I met him because I'm a dude. That's why. Because I'm a dude. He had no I was a dude outside of Hooters. The worst thing is, it's not like I was begging him for an autograph or, hey, shake my hand. I mean, at worst, it would have been, hey, man. I would have reached out and shook his hand. At worst. But I wasn't like trying to fawn all over him, nothing. I was just like, oh, man, cool. Dolph Ziggler. Great match. Beat it, kid. Beat it. Cool. Thanks. All right. Well, before we start wrapping up. Before we start wrapping up here, feel free to chime in with your favorite wrestling bits. Hall of Fame worthy wrestling bits. I'm going to reiterate. The egg bit is the Hall of Fame. Hey, nice match. Super kick. That was a good bit. Super kick in the face for saying nice match. Good bit. Wrestlepals started out as a bit. I mean, it was a bit that Matt made up at that show. We went to the Coliseum, and Matt kept calling, oh, this is Wrestlepal Nate. Oh, this is our buddy Wrestlepal Chris. And we all just started calling each other Wrestlepals. RFR happens, and then suddenly it's a radio show. And here we are, 4 years. Oh, shit. Almost exactly 4 years later. Wowzers, McTavish. I think tomorrow is the 4th year anniversary of the show. Wow. All right, so before we go, so 2 things as we're getting ready to wrap up here. Number 1, Favorite Hall of Fame bit. What's a Hall of Fame worthy wrestling bit? Number 2, what's your favorite 4-time champion? Favorite 4-time champion. They can only have won a championship 4 times. 4 times, 4 times, 4 times. That leaves Booker T out because he was 5. I won't say anything. I won't respond to that on air because I don't know if he's talking to me. I have no idea. Dolph offered to buy Ellie a drink, and if it wasn't for shitty old friends, she'd have taken it. See, sometimes you got to go with your gut. Sometimes you go with the gut and you don't listen to the friends. Having a drink with Dolph is that's a one of a time. I mean, just like getting super kicked by him, I don't regret my decision. I got super kicked. I have had a story that I've been able to tell for, 6 years. I think it's more like 5. I think it happened in 2015, but it may have been 2014. I think it's 5.5 years. We're going to say 5.5. It's been a long time, General. If you're listening to this and not watching on Facebook or wherever, let me know your favorite 4-time champion and Hall of Fame bits. I think it's time that I wrap because I yapped on for 30 minutes about pretty much nothing. Ellie, they dragged me out of the bar. I wasn't happy. I went back later in the night and he was gone. She was not happy. Tisk, tisk. Tisk, tisk. Some people just don't know. If Liv offers me a drink whenever they come back, I mean, I haven't had a drink in 10 years. 11 years almost. It'll be 11. Jinkies McTavish, it'll be 11 years next month. Yeah, I'm going to have a drink with Liv if she says, hey, let's have a drink. What am I supposed to do in that instance? You kind of have to, don't you? I think you do. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when we cross that bridge. As you can see, I'm wearing my Wyatt Jim shirt. Yeah. You know what? Yeah. I don't know why I'm trying to milk another 10 minutes out of the show. I don't have 10 minutes. I don't have 10 minutes of material. So let's talk about the state of the show then, and we'll get out of here. I'll try again if I go to one of his comedy shows and remind him. You should. Absolutely. The state of the show, I don't know. As of right now, I'm content doing this. Chat about whatever, like in a very compact situation, preferably earlier in the evening. It didn't happen as early as I'd have liked. I'd have liked to have done it, almost 2 hours ago. But I want to keep the show alive until I figure out exactly what the next step is. There's a couple people that I've talked to, Ellie being one of them, who have offered to step in as, we'll call them temporary co-hosts. We'll see. Like I said, I'm kind of interested for now in doing very compact programming until I figure out exactly what the next step for the show is. Once I know exactly what I'm doing next, then I can start thinking about interviews, because there's still interviews I'd like to do. I can start thinking about whether or not a co-host needs to come in. All that stuff. For now, it's just fun chatting wrestling with my Wrestlepals. Thanks. Thank you guys. And if you dig the show, I think now's the time that I should do this. If you dig the show, you dig me, you're feeling charitable, you could go to patreon.com. Patreon.com/ohhijustin. Joe actually was one of the other people who offered. I think my guitar's out of tune again. You know what? Let's just do this. We're just going to stay at a D as we get ready to wrap the show. Patreon.com/ohhijustin. $1 a month Gets you everything I'm doing. Access to this show, gets you access to Deprogrammed before the rest of the world, and all that jazz. And also helps me out a great deal. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe on any podcast things. Yes, stay on a D. All the podcast places is where you can listen to this show. And if you want to watch, we're on YouTube. Spell out #Wrestlepals or Facebook.com/WrestlepalsVA. I enjoy chatting with you guys, but it's time for me to wrap. I've got some Bill and Dubs editing to do. Lost. I'm so lost, I need some help to ride my way back home. I can call my girls without delay. Mountain Viking, Lafayette, Pumpkin, Jersey, born, they're on their way. I need my squad. I need my squad. I need the squad. I need the squad. Overlooked. I'm so overlooked. I need to ride for me to focus on. I can call my girls without delay. Mountain Viking, Lafayette, Pumpkin, Jersey, born, they're on the way. I need my squad. I need the 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 squad. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. Switch to the Velveteen Dream.